I used to re-explain my entire workflow to Claude Code every single morning. Same instructions, same corrections, like training a new hire. But then I see like we can add one feature that fold that whole prompt into a single command, and I'm not gonna type it again because I'm tired of typing again and again. So if you're still pasting the same blocks into Claude Code, give me 8 minutes. This will change how you work. Nobody tells you this part, so I will. There's a gap between using Claude Code like a chatbot and running it like a system. And that gap is where all the leverage hides. The people shipping 10 things a day, running an agency solo, they are doing one thing you are not. They save their workflows as skills. Stick with me and you'll walk out building your own first skill. First, the mistake that keeps everyone stuck. Forget the mistake. A skill is dead simple. It's a folder with one file inside called skill.md. You can name it. Two parts. A short header up top, the front matter where you give it a name and description, then plain English instructions. That's the whole thing. And the folder name becomes a command you type with a slash. Here's the model that makes it click. Your Claude.md is an employee handbook. Claude read the entire thing on every task relevant or not. A skill is a limited SOP card on the shelf like designated rules of instructions. Claude only grabs when the job actually matches. That difference is the whole game. Every line in Claude.md, like MD is a file, like you can say it's a memory MD markdown files we usually do. They will cost you tokens on every prompt forever. A skill costs almost nothing until the second you need it. So burn this in. If you have pasted the same instructions more than twice, that's not a prompting problem. That's a missing skill, like you are pasting all the things over again and again. Let me build one right now, so you see how little there is to it. I'll make a deploy skill because every client in my agency ships differently. Okay, one's a zip, one's a GitHub push, one's a Vercel. I used to re-explain that every session. Not anymore. Like every session we are explaining stuff. Now it knows like where I need to push, where I need to deploy, where is my GitHub, where is my website, where is my MCPs, so all the stuff. I make a folder and the folder name becomes the command. Inside one file, skill.md. The front matter has a name and then the one line that decides everything, the description. Watch this. Because this line does all the work, the description is what Claude scans to decide whether to reach for the skill at all. Write it vague, helps with deploys. And it just sits there, dead. So I write it like the words I would say out loud. Use when I say deploy, ship it, or push to a client. Below that, plain steps. Which client uses which method, the gotchas, the order, the no code, just instructions like you would hand a new teammate. Save, done. Now the step everyone skips. You test it two ways. First, I type the command with a slash. You check the steps, then I forgot the command exists and just say it like a human. Ship to this client and it fires on its own. That second test is the whole point of a skill. Think this is only a coder thing. Watch. The same trick runs my content and my admin work. None of it caught. I got a skill that takes one clip and spit out a batch of branded reels, another that write my client proposals, and it already knows my pricing, my voice, my way of style, like how I want to represent anything. Same folder, same skill.md, same description. Trick. The rule that should stick, anything you do more than twice, code or node, is a skill waiting to happen because you are repetitively doing the stuff. So we save this as a skill. Okay. So when does something become a skill and when does it belong in Claude.md? So Claude.md, I would say it's the main file, like that has the entire memory of what I'm doing for the last few months or for the last year. It understands the whole scenario. People blur this and their setup turns to mush. Clean cut. A fact goes in Claude.md. A procedure becomes a skill. My brand colors are cream, ink rust. So I save this in my MD file. That's a fact. And it will always load. How I cut a reel, step by step, what transitions I do, what animations, what things I do has been already in my video editing skill. That's a skill loaded when only I'm editing cutting or editing a reel. And that tell the catch is everyone. If a section of your Claude.md file has grown into step-by-step procedure, that's your signal. Lift it out, make it a skill. Your Claude.md gets lighter, every prompt gets cheaper. Yeah, before my lots of tokens were being wasted, like the token usage. Everyone is asking me this question again and again. But when I install and put a system behind all the skills and all the stuff, now it's not, because my cloud knows like who I am, what I do, what we gonna do each day, what problems we're gonna run, what clients we have, how many videos we're working, how many repos we have, how many services we have. Like, because it's controlling my entire website as well via MCP. I hope we will discuss maybe next video. Okay, here's where people gave up on skills. They build one, it never fires. They blame on the future. It's almost always a description, too vague. Because AI is AI, you have to be very careful. Rewrite it as the literal words you would say out loud, not a summary, the trigger. Second trap, cramming everything into one giant skill empty. A plotted skill is a slow skill, so you need to make sure like the skills you are putting to Claude Code has to be really perfect. It will take time, but you will be guys good to go. So keep it lean, push long reference stuff into separate files. Okay, it only loads when needed. Third, the sneaky one, never testing the plain English trigger. Say it a normal way, watch it fire. 10 seconds, just do it. And the part that almost nobody reaches, once that description is dialed, the skill fires on its own. Like every skill has a name, so you can call it. So you stop hyping the command. Even better, your sub agents inherit them because they know like all the system you have. Fan out 5 agents. Sometimes I say like fan out 5 agents. Sometimes I say, hey Claude, ship 100 agents, do the research, then use that skill. Then I have my CEO of my agents, which I call Skynet. Then I say, hey, send Skynet. Then I have another skill, critic loop, I wish I can share with you. That checks the entire system, then it gives me back. That's when Claude stops being a chatbot and start running the way you want it to. Cap. So now we're going to recap the entire system, what we have discussed over. A skill is a simple skill.md file. It's a file inside a folder. Okay, the description is the engine, effect goes in Claude.md file.md, procedure becomes a skill, and if you have pasted it twice, that's a skill you haven't built yet. Go build it. I left you a head start, a free starter skill, and a one-page cheat sheet in the pinned comment. Grab it, build your first one today. One thing before you go, I read these. What's the one prompt you keep retyping? Like you're reiterating again and again and again and again, like Claude do this, Claude do this. Drop it below and I'll tell you if it's a skill or line in your Claude.md file. Next video, I will chain 3 skills in one command and let a whole workflow run itself. Subscribe so it lands. I'm Vaseem from Skynet Labs. See you in the next one.